Happy Fansview Fridays. Welcome to our Katsucon 1998 show. Welcome to my virtual cottage. I am Nadeshiko Gatsby, the Wisteria Cottage Witch. And today we're going to dive into some ancient internet archive history. We're going to be discussing convention history on this channel and on this broadcast. And today we're going to be covering Katsucon 4, which took place on February 27th to March 1st, 1998. Fansview Fridays, this is a weekly live stream of Kevin Lillard's old Fansview reports. Unfortunately, a lot of these reports are no longer online, but with the help of the Internet Archive, we can view through these ancient tomes of yesteryear. So take my hand, we're going to travel back through time to 1998, and we are going to head over to the Radisson Plaza Hotel Mark Center in Arlington, Virginia on the weekend of February 27th through March 1st, 1998. Okay, so we're going to talk, so this is one of Kevin's first reports here. Let's see, this is one of his first reports. So let me just really fix things here. So this is also going to be a shorter report as well. Okay, so. All right, Ippongi Bang's appearance was one of the highlights of the first day of Katsucon. Okay, let's wait for this to load. Katsucon Day 1. Artists, costumers, and fish made up some of the early arrivals at Katsucon 4. Wait, did someone cosplay from Goldfish Warning and actually brought an actual goldfish? Or an actual cow? Watch Goldfish Warning, people. It is adorable and is a hidden gem of a classic anime from the 80s, 90s. The registration desk in the lobby of the Radisson Plaza Hotel at Mark Center on Seminary Road was a short distance from the Potomac River and Washington, D.C., and while the rest of the nation thinks of the nation's capital in terms of potential scandal, controversy, patronage, and politicking, one special group of people could care less. They're the people who traveled from around the nation to attend Katsucon 4, the anime and manga convention. The 1998 edition of the con moved up the coast from its former headquarters in Virginia Beach to the new location near Washington. Among the early arrivals was this very young Steve Bennett over here, artist for Studio Iron Cat, the independent comics publisher, sent a large contingent to Katsucon to promote their works, and Bennett presented his self-painting workshops. Compare this image of Bennett in 1998 with the pictures from 1997 Anime Week in Atlanta, and you'll note that Steve is more or less clean-shaven. He said his wife made him do it. And we'll definitely get to Anime Week in Atlanta sometime in October. We'll be going back to Atlanta, but we'll go 1 year back to 1997. In keeping with the tradition of the established AWA 3, we present a fish in our earlier arrival reports. The AWA fish was a toy gift for artist Leia Hernandez. This live fish was in a tank outside the Radisson Seafood Restaurant, which serves a fine Caesar salad loaded with shrimp and crab meat. To many anime and manga fans, conventions mean costume play first, so we present those early arrivals, beginning with a young woman who created this Mylene costume, complete with her own furry sidekick. This costume was impressive for the work the cosplayer put into it, including makeup and contact lens to create the yellow iris effect. I am an exhibitionist, he quipped when he paused for the author's camera. This may be the last place you find a person in full costume. It's the Katsucon registration desk. It's an elaborate shampoo costume, complete with a purple wig. We didn't have the heart to ask the man who created the costume why he wanted to be Ranma's one-half's shampoo. Fan favorite Ippongi Bang also made an early appearance with members of her Japanese studio. We learned how Bang nearly chose a life of caring for elephants instead of drawing manga. Okay, Ippongi Bang speaks. Through publication of her manga by Antarctic Press and done by Studio Iron Cat, and through her cosplay, Ippongi Bang has risen to the status of fan favorite. Yet she nearly chose the life of an animal doctor to the career of drawing manga, creating wild costumes, and singing before appreciative audiences. If there was no manga in Japan, I don't know what I would have become. Manga is my life and my identity, Bang said at a February 27th Katsucon panel. Among those accompanying Bang to Katsucon were, to Bang's left, Takora Katayama, former assistant to Bang, is starting her own career as a featured artist, Kuni Kimura, student Iron Cat publisher, and Mio Adagi, manga artist and illustrator of children's books. Bang was attending college in 1982 studying animal science and looking for a career as a zoologist. At one time, she wanted to care for elephants. At the same time, she was drawing her own comics and participating in cosplay. In 1982, she won a cosplay contest that brought her to the attention of a manga publisher who gave her a chance to make a professional debut. Her first effort about college life led her manga career that has seen Bang's work published on both sides of the Pacific. Now, Takora Katayama is emerging from Bang's studio to begin her own career, winning an award as one of the best new comic artists from publisher Shogakukan. I grew up reading manga. I love manga, so I wanted to be a manga artist. I wanted to give the same good feeling I got from manga to young people. Bringing his own manga talent and love of wild costumes to Katsucon was Reijiro Kato. I love entertaining other people. Manga is only one way of entertaining people. It doesn't matter if it's manga or wearing a costume of dancing. I love entertaining people, said Kato. But what about the wildly colored hair that is Bang's trademark? An extreme gesture in black hair Japan where brown is considered radical? I just like it, brightly colored hair. I just change it according to my feelings. The hair color may represent me. When I went to Hong Kong, I went to a bird shop and scared the hell out of the birds. When I went to Bolivia, butterflies came out of the grass and nestled in my hair like I was their friend. Costume play is at the heart of an anime convention. We look at some of the unique costumes worn by the fans of Katsucon for its opening day. Alright, let's see what we got here. You got some text by Kevin over here. The love of anime and manga characters leads to the most devoted fans to spend hours working on costumes that led them break through the glass wall of the TV screen and for hours become the characters. It's a comfortable and entertaining experience for those who enjoy this art form, but is startling for the mainstream world. This author followed a group of cosplayers up an escalator into Radisson and spotted a business-suited diner in the hotel restaurant. Jaws agape as he watched the costume fans move through the building. Obviously, he hadn't seen anything like it before and didn't know whether to believe it or not. On Friday, February 27th, one night before the official costume contest, we strolled the halls of the Katsucon Hotel and came up with these remarkable sights. Alright, let's just see what cosplay looked like in 1998. And remember to be nice, we didn't have a lot of resources as we do now. So this is what people had to come up with, and unfortunately some of these links are broken because we are dealing with Internet Archive right here. I assume that is a Tenchi because he does have that famed cabinet sitting with him right there. Oh no! Okay, that is our Mylene cosplayer from Macross 7. She's got that bodysuit thing going on, and she also has that mascot guy, Guava, who's kind of like her triple pet thing in Macross 7. Macross 7, that was a wild anime. Fans and artists told people at Katsucon what is happening in the anime and manga industry and what will happen. Alright, let's talk about fans and artists. Anime fan Richard Kim told people at his Friday panel that he really wanted to get a UFO catch-a-doll out of a Japanese machine, and he finally got it after several hours and spending, well, let's just say that Kim likes anime and manga enough to have lived in Japan. And what happened to my VTuber? There we go. Having to live in Japan 3 times, making a living as a teacher and squirreling away enough money to be able to buy bargain rate used manga from Japan's many used comic stores. Kim said determined fans can fly to Japan for several $100s during off-peak travel season or get a teaching job through the JET program. Once there, expect expenses to be high and living quarters to be cramped, but be ready to live in a fan's dream world where items are inaccessible in the US are easily available. Listening to Kim's presentation was Fred Perry, the gold digger artist glad to get Katsucon after a stint at Anime Week Atlanta Part 3. The third. No, image links are broken. This makes me sad. Kuni Kimura told the story of how he and Steve Bennett arrived at the name of Studio Iron Cat's publishing house. They came up with a piece of Japanese artwork called Name Iron Cat and borrowed the name. Bennett, a Civil War buff, wanted to name the studio after a figure from the 1860s but was outvoted, so to speak. Colleen Doran, one of the leading women in American comic art, said she was moving towards a manga style for 10 years and didn't know how. Her first view of a carefully crafted manga story was a revelation. This is what I've always wanted all my life, and it's so beautiful that American comics are so ugly. She said Doran acknowledged that most manga is not top rate, but she also said she is tired of the grim and gritty trend in American superhero comics, flawed copies of The Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller's reinvention of Batman. You get 37 million yahoos who don't understand what Frank Miller was doing, said Doran. Anime Eigo has been at the forefront of bringing anime to American audiences, and Robert Woodhead has also been at the helm of the North Carolina company. His efforts have been so successful that Anime Eigo faces stiffer competition when bringing in Japanese titles to the US. Still, Woodhead perseveres. At Katsucon, he spoke of looking at the Detective Conan, Lupin, Bubblegum Crisis Television, and the new 80 Police series, along with the live-action non-samurai films from Japan. On the seemingly endless sub versus dub controversy, that's an accessibility issue. The last thing a video rental store wants is for a person to pick up a tape and say, "That looks interesting. Is it subtitled?" Ugh. Woodhead said Anime Eigo would continue to make both subtitled and dubbed versions of its anime properties. It looks like we have a comment in the chat. I heard a lot of the anime conventions back in the 90s attracted mostly college students because at the time only college students had the time and interest in Japanese culture. You are correct. A lot of the folks attending these anime conventions were on the older side. So you had like a mix of boomers who grew up watching Speed Racer, Battle of the Planets, Star Blazers, and you also had the college students who had a lot more accessibility to anime through like anime clubs and so forth. So the audience skewed much older back then. It was very rare to see like minors in the late 90s, at least from my observations looking at these reports. I didn't start attending conventions until 1999, and that was when we had the Pokemon boom kind of come up, and that's when things were starting to become skewing towards a much more younger audience with the advent of Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon making its ways to younger audiences. All right, let's go to day 2 of Katsucon. And I could tell you personally that my first anime convention in 1999, I went to Anime Expo. I was only in high school, but it was a whole family thing. And we only went for the last day of Anime Expo. And back then, Anime Expo had a dealer's hall only pass. So if you just wanted to shop, you just paid $10 per person for admission. And you paid $10 to just shop. And that's what I did. Because like, yeah, I want to see the dealer's hall. I want to see like all the things. All right, Katsucon Day 2, February 28, 1998. Check out that Ranma group over there. The entire cast of Ranma 1/2. That shows the determination of Katsucon cosplayers. Look at the early Saturday costumers following this link. I love the whole click here kind of culture. Yes, we have some photos. Let's see what cosplay looked like in 1998 at Katsucon. Before there was a gazebo, before the cloud chasing, before the thirst. Steve Pearl of the Atlantic Anime Alliance, a longtime anime fan, said he was amazed by the growth of costume play at conventions such as Katsucon 4. Cosplay was all about the unknown on the East Coast a few years ago, and now it's a major part of the cons that have popped up in recent years. Katsucon 4 was no exception. These images came from 1 hour Saturday strolling around the Radisson Plaza Hotel at Mark Center, with hours to go before the Saturday night costume contest. All right, let's take a look here. We got that Rama cast right here. Oh my god, is that a half a side? That is amazing. We also have some Magic Knight Rayearth. I'm just really impressed with the armor. I'm really impressed with the weapons. Oh wait, that's not Hapaside. That's like Kuno's lackey. My bad. There's Hapaside, that old, dirty old dude. I have choice words for Hapaside. Anyone should, if you've seen Rama. Okay, we have Vision, Vesca, Flone, Hitomi, and Merle. Okay, we got more Rayearth love over here. We have Hikaru. And I believe that's one of the dudes in Rayearth. Let's see. We have someone who has purple skin. Not sure what character they are. We got Final Fantasy VII over there. Wow. Vintage Final Fantasy VII from 1998. And you have Square making all these remakes these days. Looks like we got some Yu Yu Hakusho. I assume that's I know the the college name for this character, and it's Dennis. Dennis from Ghost Fighter. Yes, a Dennis from Ghost Fighter. Okay, just scrolling down. It was very common to start seeing a lot of Miyaka cosplayers, a lot of Fujigi cosplayers in the late 90s. So a lot of us Sailor Moon fans were just also gravitating to more shoujo anime with what we can find. Got some love for Ranma here, and we have Fushigi Yugi and a Yuffie. Science fiction author Haruka Takachio held a Saturday discussion panel. Follow this link to learn about his Dirty Pair characters and about his new novel that has been translated to English but remains unreleased. The two main Japanese guests of honor at Katsucon, Ippongi Bang and Haruka Takachiho. While Bang draws characters, Takachiho creates them in stories. Most notable among his characters to American fans are Space Explorer Crusher Joe and the Dirty Pair, trouble agents of the World Welfare Work Association. While the pair is best known to Americans through anime, Takachiho has written many Dirty Pair novels. Two of the novels have been translated into English, but only one, Great Adventure of Dirty Pair, has been released in America. The second unreleased translation of a Dirty Pair novel appears to be in the hands of Microsoft, of all people. At the Katsucon discussion panel, Takachiho said he agreed to write new Dirty Pair novels for release on the Microsoft network. The novels were written in Takachiho's native Japanese and have been released on the Japanese branch of MSN, but the intention was to translate the novels into English and place them on the American MSN. That plan changed, Takachiho said, when MSN's management decided to move away from its shows, entertainment features offered on MSN. As a result, there is no plan to release the English version, even though the text had already been translated. Takachiho said he told people at the panel that you need to send an email to Bill Gates and get him to release the Dirty Pair translation in the United States. I do have a friend at Cosplay Wrestling Federation who does work for Microsoft. He's our Phoenix Wright of Cosplay Wrestling Federation. Maybe I should send him a message right now, but I'll wait till after the stream. American anime fans have known for years that the Dirty Pair was inspired by Japanese professional wrestlers and idol singers. Okay, Dirty Pair now has my attention because I love wrestling and I love idols. I will look into this. But Takachiho said Part of the character's creation was a challenge from the editor. My editor, when I was working on Dirty Pair, told me no Japanese movie or TV series with two girls as the main characters has ever been successful. I thought if I made one girl character boyish and the other girl feminine, the combination of two will make a good story. He said. Takachiyo's creation of the tomboy Kei and demure Yuri has endured for years. How does Takachiyo keep pumping up ideas for his novels? I come with ideas while I'm taking a bath, he said. When a good idea pops up, I get out of the bath and grab a pen and paper, but I get cold. So he writes Dirty Pair naked. So now I have a pad and paper anytime I'm in every part of the house, including the toilet. The Dirty Pair resembles some popular American comics in the characters that have appeared in several versions. Takachiyo's novels, the original anime series, the OAVs, the Adam Warren series created in the US, and the latest version, Dirty Pair Flash. Takachiyo said there's no definitive version of the character. They changed to best suit the medium where they're presented. Declared but an old rumor, Yuri of the Dirty Pair is not Crusher Joe's mother, although Takachiyo said that the characters and stories are in the same world. Well, there you have it. Multiverse. Fan favorite pet Fred Perry, pictured, drew a crowd of followers devoted to his comics. Head here to find what Perry said about his dreams of moving his characters to the world of animation and see more about anime and manga fandom from veteran fan organizer Steve Pearl. And Pearl. People at Katsucon might like some artists, but they love Fred Perry, especially in his home state of Virginia. On his return from military duty during Operation Desert Storm, Perry started to create the characters now featured in his Gold Digger series. When Ben Dunn of Antarctic Press moved towards Warrior Nun Comics, Perry created the Ninja High School universe into his Gold Digger world. Already a small press comic success with his manga-styled work, Perry dreams of taking his characters to the next level and turning them into animated films using Japanese production studios. His goal is to create a short demo Gold Digger film. I can use this to show people what I wanted to do so I can get backers and develop it into a full-fledged 20-minute or 30-minute animation, said Perry. To achieve that, Perry has redesigned his characters so they're easier to animate. Brittany Digger's cheetah spots will have to be minimized because they're difficult to draw from cell to cell, for example. Perry has even worked on a Gold Digger computer game. He spent months on a prototype only to find that he had written himself into a corner with a stubborn programming bug that made him drop the code he had written and start all over again. Perry said he's found that getting a break in the world of computer games seems tougher than breaking into comic art. Perry's fans exchange ideas with the artist, asking Fred to create new stories for their fan favorite Gold Digger characters. He had a hint on the direction of one character will take. Brianna is going to strike out on her own. I'm going to team her up with the Northern Guards. She's on a personal mission. She'll have a chance to get out of the shadow of her sisters, Perry said. The enthusiasm that bonds Perry and his fans draws many people to a larger world of anime and manga. Steve Pearl of the Atlantic Anime Alliance has been one of the leaders in the organized fandom for years. He has brought anime clubs together in the alliance, including a club from Portugal. Pearl also maintains a wealth of anime information on the internet, including a group of definitive, frequently asked questions. I remember a couple weeks on Fansview Fridays, I had to define FAQ to one of my younger followers here in the cottage, my younger foragers, and it's just interesting to see like where certain words kind of like sort of fade, acronyms fade from from our language. And I had no idea that FAQ almost entirely faded, and then FAQ, frequently asked question. Technically, intrepid anime fans try to bridge the language gap between the Japanese language and their native English by creating their own subtitled versions of new releases from Asia. Pearl said he is all for fan subs, as long as no one tries to make profit from the tapes, and the producers drop their fan sub projects when an American production gets the rights to a Japanese series. All right, anime fans waited and prepared a year for this moment. The costume contest drew the largest crowd at Katsucon 4. You can trace this link to see the onstage madness. All right, let's just take a look at the Katsucon cosplay contest, shall we? All right, let's hope they get some. We get a lot of photos that come up here. The hall outside the Plaza East room of the Radisson Plaza Hotel at Mark Center looked as if someone opened up the box that stores all the anime characters and forgot to close the lid. At least half the people in the hall were wearing elaborate costumes. The other half had cameras and were taking pictures of the people in elaborate costumes. That scene marked the final moments before Katsucon 4 costume contest. The costume fans nervously waited, and a few rehearsing and others checking their clothes. The rest of the crowd jockeyed for position in the line to get inside the Plaza East room. Then, the doors opened, the crowd rushed in, and the world was changed by the strange sights inside. Alright, let's do our best here. Okay, that's Shinji, like, meaning like one of Palpatine's Red Devils? Red Satanist? I don't know. I know they have like a official title, but not it's been a while since I've been involved in Star Wars fandom. I don't know. One of you Star Wars people will probably yell at me in the comments. Okay, yeah. I just know it's like one of Palpatine's red people from Return of the Jedi. Okay, we have Mokina, and looks like we have Lantis, or is it Eagle from Magic Knight Rayearth? We got a Lupin gang here. I want to say it's a crossover because I don't quite recognize the people in the background. We have Cloud versus Ryoga. I guess Ryoga lost his way and found himself in Midgar. Thank you, Ramses. They are Imperial Guards. The red people are the Imperial Guards. Now I know. Now I know titles of things. Okay, we have Sailor Galaxia and Princess Fireball. It looks like we have a team of some Sailor Senshi. Okay, looks like we got Misato and Ryoji. I know that's the dude from Giant Robo with the eye patch. Yay, Darkstalkers. Seriously, Darkstalkers needs a lot more love. I love Felicia. Not quite sure what they're from. Okay, looks like I want to assume that's Vision of Escaflowne, Vampire Princess Miu. Looks like we got some Rama good times over here. Got Zelos from Slayers. Oh, shit. Shoot, is that a Racer X? This is like the... Okay, I've been an anime fan for like a very long time. I've been going to anime cons since 1999. I've never seen a Racer X cosplayer. Like, ever. Like, not in photos, not in person. Oh, thank you so much for the donation. I very much appreciate it. But yeah, I've never seen a Racer X cosplayer, like, ever. No, this just sparks joy. You gotta remember the things that spark joy. Like, because I was very tempted, like, wow, I'm just so... Oh, wow, I'm just kind of like, I've never seen a Racer X cosplayer like this. This is amazing. I love it. Okay, we got more Magic Knight Rayearth cosplayers here. Looks like they're in the standard uniforms. Can't quite tell what's going on here. Okay. We have Lady Oscar. That makes me so happy. And she's wearing the red outfit. Oh my god. It's very rare that I've found Lady Oscar cosplayers like going through like a lot of these 90s and early 2000s report, but kissing a Lady Oscar cosplay, that sparks joy. Thank you, Warlock with Listeria, for checking it out. We hope you can tune in with us again in the future. Thank you for visiting the virtual cottage. A panel of celebrity judges watched a costume contest and then ruled on the best workmanship and performances. Move this way to see the list of cosplay award winners. Katsucon Day 2 Costume Contest Awards. Okay, looks like top honors, the best of show, went to a Sorcerer Hunters group. Then Ipongi Bang's Best Future in Cosplay Award, Rose of Versailles. Best Presentation and Best Laugh, as it should go to the Serpent Naga. Best Recreation of Anime Characters. Looks like we have like a combination of a few things. It's like Utena infiltrating, what was it? It's not Fire Force. Oh, I need like a Dino Taku to help me with this. I know it's Giant Robo. It's like big fire, not Fire Force. Thank you, Rams. I mean, at least I didn't say Rescue Fire. That is something completely different. Best Novice Cosplayers went to this Kenshin group over here. Best Costume Craftsmanship. I do love their rare designs. Best Skit Snafu. Oh, I love the fact that they gave a Snafu award. Because many times, like, I've seen Snafus happen on stage. At least it got something, you know? Best Male Tight Butts. I have no words. Apparently this was an award back then. Best Male Tight Butts. Oh, I could have won this award back when I was cosplaying for Read or Die as Yumiko Reedman. Best Cute Girl in Glasses. And here at the cottage, we do stand Fu. I love Fu. She's my favorite in Magic Knight. And in the chat, Ramsey says, I'm here for the buns. And I agree. Fu is awesome. We stand Fu. Best Action, looks like that's a Ranma. And Best Acting went to Racer X. Hang on. Let's see if I missed some costumes here. If there was like a next page. No, there was no next page. It was just this. My bad. After the costume contest, Ipongi Bang traded a pencil for a microphone as she took to the stage and sang for the Katsucon crowd. Head here to see the performance. Ipongi Bang sings. After the Katsucon 4 costume contest, fans waited patiently for the stage to be redressed for the concert by manga artist Ipongi Bang. For most of the crowd, it would be the first chance to hear Bang sing. And the audience wait was rewarded when Bang appeared and treated them to a performance of Japanese songs, some original and some anime themes. Like Bang's manga studio, her concert performances are family shows in a way. Her husband Yab Hiroaki handles the tapes and synthesizer, keyboard, and even sings. And fellow manga artist Reijiro Kato gets a chance to join Bang in belting out a song as a lead performer when he isn't singing backup vocals. This time the audience got to join in on the stage fun. When Bang sang the title song from Sailor Moon, the cosplayers in Sailor Moon costumes were encouraged to jump up on the stage and help with the lyrics. But of course, Bang was the star of the show. The crowd had to be tired after 11 hours of Katsucon activity, but she kept the hall rocking. And fans appreciated the show no matter where they came from. Yeah, like I said, if I ever have a chance, I don't know if she's still around or not. This is someone I would love to meet. I would love to interview her. I'd love to have like a cup of coffee, cup of tea with her. Because I'm pretty sure she has a lot of stories from back in the day. All right, let's wind it down with day 3, March 1st, 1998. The final day of Katsucon 4 provided a cosplay double feature. First, a look at the final cosplayers of the event. Here's one last look at the cosplayers who attended Katsucon 4. Some of these fans showed up on the convention's final day, while others pictured earlier didn't get on the other web pages on the site. All of them deserve a look and congratulations for their effort in creating their costumes. Okay, let's just take a look here. Oh, I love that Mokina. All right. A couple costumers there. And then the story on how two anime fans created their costumes they brought to Katsucon. Oh, we get to learn from the Rose of Versailles pair. Okay, let's learn more. Alright, costume creation. This was one of the most impressive cosplay efforts presented at Katsucon 4. Oscar and a male friend from Rose of Versailles, male friend, manga and anime. Rose of Versailles was one of the most influential manga among young girls in the 1980s and was an inspiration directly and indirectly for the girls' comics from Japan that led all the way to Sailor Moon. Take off the costumes and you have Thomas Holtz and Sue Shamba, anime fans who love cosplay and put on an amazing amount of hard work, turning animated creations into real clothing. Holtz and Shamba guided Katsucon 4 fans through their cosplay and experience on the con's final day. Shamba said she had worked on the Rose of Versailles costumes for 4 months, wanting to create uniforms for years. Making the costumes meant days of research, design, and prototype creation before uniforms were ready for Katsucon, where they made their debut. It was a huge amount of work, but Shamba is already thinking about the next costume she wants to create. Old costumes fill her closet at home, she said. Rose of Versailles is set in 18th century France. Shamba looked to a combination of 2 centuries worth of military uniforms to make the Oscar outfit. She combined a Civil War uniform blouse with details from an 18th century military uniform. Shamba first made a mock-up from the leftover curtain fabric so she could tell, are the sleeves long enough? Can I move? Do details cover my hips properly? To get the uniform's details to match the design seen in the Japanese original, something that was made to look good on paper and film and not necessarily to be worn in real life. Shamba had to consult a book of artwork from the animated Rose of Versailles, paying close attention to the back views of the uniform. Details such as the sash and epaulets were attached to the uniform blouse before using Velcro style tape. Alright, I have to probably use Velcro for my Utena epaulets then. Holt's devotion to cosplay led him to paint his skin blue once, which led to an extended series of showers to get the color off his skin. He searches military supply stores, used sports stores, and garage sales for items that go in his costumes. You have the potential to find what you want, but you have to go through a lot to find it, Holt said. Ah, yes, before the days of Amazon. The trend in anime sold to the American market is towards replacing the original voice tracks with English language actors. Michael Brady, one of the American seiyuu, gave his views on this part of the industry. Voice actor Michael Brady. This is Crusher Joe, space mercenary. He just happens to look like Michael Brady, American voice actor, when he speaks English. Michael Brady, and an anime fan who writes for anime online on the internet, has the role of Crusher Joe in the English language version of the anime and spoke to Katsucon 4 about the real world translation, subtitles, dubs. His main point, no translation can completely express the nuances and subtleties of the original language. Subtitles look good to those who prefer to read a script on screen while hearing the inflections of the original voices, but those subtitles offer only a pared down version of the story. Deliberately cut down because American producers cannot assume that their viewers are fast readers. To be reared with language is the only way to understand an idiom and its emotions, Brady said. The subtleties are lost on an audience that only watches the subtitles. It's common for hardcore anime fans to criticize dubbed films, but Brady thinks that's unfair in some cases, especially when English language voice actors are blamed. Directors need to get a good performance out on their actors, bear the responsibility for a flat performance, according to Brady. Voice tracks for Japanese and American animation are handled differently, Brady noted. In America, actors record the script and animators follow those recordings when cells are made, using charts to match mouth movements with spoken words. In Japan, the animation is filmed first and the voice actors record their parts, much in the way radio drama is recorded. That explains why mouth movements rarely match voice tracks in anime. It also leads to American fans criticizing English language dubs when voices start or end before on the mouth moves, a criticism Brady feels is unfair. Crusher Joe was created by Haruka Takachiyo, one of the guests of honor at Katsucon 4. Brady had not met Takachiyo and introduced himself during the convention, only to learn that the science fiction author didn't believe Brady had voiced Joe in English. Finally, a Japanese guest at the convention convinced Takachiyo of Brady's role, whereupon Takachiyo took Brady's picture, something Brady was told he could consider a high compliment from the character's creator. The ultimate industry insiders, the people who own and manage American production and distribution companies, told how they expect the industry to develop. Okay, let's just wait for this to load. And while that's loading, I actually did meet someone today at work who identified as a quote unquote weeaboo. And like, yay, where are my people? I prefer the term otaku, but I'm just kind of old school like that. All right, industry insiders, March 1st. No one has a larger stake in the future of anime and manga fandom than the companies which feed the fans' needs. The American companies that produce the stateside releases of Japanese programs. The industry insiders attend conventions to learn what fans want and to learn the fans know what to expect. A panel on the final day of Katsucon featured from left to right Mike Greenfield of AD Vision, Kate Robarts of Studio Iron Cat, subtitler Jeff Thompson, Toshifumi Yoshida from Viz Communications, and John Cirabella of Media Blasters. The panel's consensus that the anime seems poised to grow in the US, but American companies are in for a roller coaster ride as they track that growth. Among the industry leaders, Cirabella can be considered the newcomer. Media Blaster's Kitty label, no relation to the Kitty animation house in Japan, has been on the market for only a couple of years. Cirabella noted that the growth of sales in anime in the US has outpaced by the growth of number of companies offering programs. More material is being placed in stores, but more companies are chasing American customers. The market is flooded, said Cirabella. There are 15 to 20 videos a month, and that's a lot for a niche market. Ooh, wait till we get to the manga boom of the early 2000s. Much has been made of the Walt Disney's company move into anime. Cirabella thinks that will not have a big impact on the market or to smaller companies such as his. More important is a development that may have avoided a typical anime fan: the economic crisis in Asia. The money problems in the Far East are leading to cutbacks in Japanese projects and causing anime producers to seek higher licensing fees from American companies. They're actually looking onto the American market to make more money, said Cirabella. Yoshida brought a different perspective to the panel. Since Viz Communications publishes both anime and manga, he uses Rama One Half series as a gauge of the industry's growth. People will come up to me and say, we like a... Alright, let me see if I could properly mispronounce this. We like a cane. We like a cane. I have to pause for a moment. We like a cane. Yoshida said in referring to new fans who don't know that the female Rama character's name is pronounced Akane. Hearing those comments lets Yoshida know that the new fans are being attracted to Rama, a middle-aged series, by the rapidly changing standards of the anime industry. More importantly, people who start with Rama are drawn to the other anime series. Most of the people in the hardcore market have passed on from Rama, so there's room for growth, said Yoshida. Greenfield said that the key to growth is attracting more people to anime. The casual fans are becoming hardcore fans, he said. The art form's higher profile means mixed coverage, such as the New York Times industry review that referred to anime as risque and violent. Greenfield isn't worried about those mixed reviews. Okay, is this it for Katsucon? Okay, we covered. Yep, this is pretty much all there is to cover on Kevin's reports. He doesn't have a final thoughts section, but let's look at Katsucon's old website, shall we? Click here for the official Katsucon website. It got 404, but look at this URL here. www.io.com squiggly line Katsucon. I know there's an actual title for it, like squiggly line Katsucon. All right. So it looks like the Katsucon's old website cannot be found even by Internet Archive. So that said, thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Fansview Fridays. This is a tribute to our friend Kevin Lillard. May he rest in peace, and may we not forget the contributions he made to anime fandom. Next week, we'll be covering Animazement 1998. I'm very excited about that one, and hope you all can join me in the virtual cottage and where we can discuss anime history, fandom history, because I always love having company at the cottage. And more importantly, I would also like to mention that my book, The Fangirl Diaries, is coming out in January of 2025. This is a look at anime fandom at the turn of the millennium. So this actually does take place in the 90s into the 2000s. So we span about a decade between the 90s and the 2000s, talking about what it was like for someone who was 14 years old, who was a teenager, trying to find identity and belonging and community within fandom. As someone had said earlier in the chat, that a lot of fandoms tend to skew older during this time. But as I mentioned before, the 90s, especially the late 90s, were prime to have a generation of millennials raised on Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and so forth. And what did that mean to us teenagers when we first stepped into those conventions? What was it like being a cringy weeb, Y2K style? And with that said, thank you so much for joining us. We always love having company at our cottage. And we will see you next week on Fansview Fridays.